My name is James Williams Jr. This is Company Habit number 2. This is my second attempt at this video. This video is called Just Because. Now, if you've been watching the other videos, they were called Out of Spite, and I talked about my neighbor and whatever the hell her issue was me and not wanting me to park in front of her house, even though I've never done anything to her, blah, blah, blah. So, just because, this is basically Out of Spite on a different mentality, if you would. A few months back, maybe 2 months back, I posted some videos about this guy who's trying to delegitimize my martial arts for whatever reason he thought it was cool. And I went off on a tangent about how, if you haven't fought somebody, the last damn thing you should do is try to say that they're phony. Yeah, I'm checking my nose. Anyway, I did just say, I don't tell lies, so yeah, I'm checking my nose, making sure everything's legit there. We don't want any green things hanging from my nose, even though they might blend in on this shirt. I like to bill myself as a fair person. I didn't say I was a nice guy. I just said a fair person, because I think that everybody has the right to fairness. Alright? You have the right to privacy and you have the right to fairness. However, I will say that, if you aren't going to be fair, then you should be more than willing to be ready to deal with the consequences of your actions. Alright? So, I'm pretty much ready to deal with the consequences of my actions, just definitely after the video, the live stream I did on Facebook. But, for this video specifically, this dude don't know me from Adam and Eve. All he knows is that I served in the military, I didn't get deployed. And he just straight decided that my martial arts was bullshit. Right off the bat, my martial arts was straight bullshit. So I was trying to train this guy, and I made this video a few months ago. Or at least a month and a half ago at max. And the whole concept of the fact was that this guy couldn't face me and talk to me like a man. He decided to get the kid out of the way while I was trying to teach the kid how to break an elbow, the way I was taught how to break an elbow when I was being taught how to break an elbow in a martial art fashion, where if the guy is throwing a fucking jab or a hook, if taught properly, if done correctly, if executed in the right manner, you can break the elbow. Alright? So the jab is this. Your job, if you're doing karate, would be to block, and from here, you catch it here, and you catch it here. So you're going to clap this way, which means you're pushing here and you're pulling here. If you're doing Kung Fu, you're doing the same thing, just on the outside. For those who don't know the difference with a lot of Kung Fu and karate, it's really, really small. It's exceptionally small. It's barely fucking noticeable. But for Kung Fu, you generally get to the outside of your opponent. For karate, you generally get to the inside and you block and counter. With Kung Fu, you block and counter at the same time. So instead of doing it this way, which is one of the correct ways, I was teaching him, he's throwing a punch, both hands are on this side because you got to the outside. Pulling with the wrist that's closest, with your fist on his wrist that's closest to your body, and pushing with your opposite arm, which is closest to his elbow, which means your arm will be there, and these little ducts there, they control the flow of blood. For those who don't know, Kenpo teaches you everywhere there's a pressure point, there's a joint. Everywhere there's a joint, there's a pressure point. I don't know how Kenpo works now, but back when I was learning it, that's what I was taught. So you can take that with a grain of salt, or you can attempt to fight me if you want. If you want to be stupid, and if I can get to that, it will get broken. Because as I tell people, and every fight is different. And every fight is situational, and every fighter ain't like you see on TV. Most fights last 3 to 5 minutes. That's it. It's not like an MMA where it's controlled. In real street fights, it's 3-5. You know, you got 3 minutes or you got 5 minutes. Just depends on how good your offense versus his defense versus your offense. Now, you can get knocked out in 2 minutes if you're not prepared. Sucker punches work, trust me. They work. I've never used them on people, but I have had them used on me. I've recovered fast enough that I can fucking win. So anyway, I'm teaching this security guard shit that they have not been taught. I'm teaching them shit that they did not teach me in the Army. In the Army, they taught me Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and they taught me Taekwondo. The thing that I didn't like about the Taekwondo that they was teaching me, they make us run and then they make us sprawl. And I told them, that's not what I was taught by Mr. Ennis. And if you ever sprawl at me, I'm kicking you right in your face. Because you're dropping into the front lean and rest position. And if you think I'm going to let you grab my ankles and pull me down, that's going to be a stupid move on my half. Where in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, they taught me how to roll with people. I hate Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Not the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu personally, because it's never done anything to me, but it's not the style of martial art that I like because I'm not down with getting all over the ground. It's just that simple. I'm an old school guy. We fight standing up. No. Now, if you get me on the ground, it's because you've knocked me the fuck out or you've knocked me dead. But with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I had to learn how to side mount, triangle mount, get behind you and put you in a choke, lock you in an arm bar, put you in a triangle with my legs. I had to learn a lot of shit that I hopefully will never have to use because I don't intend on having you get me on the ground. But the good news on that is I also took Judo way before I learned martial arts. And the thing with Judo works on the principle of if I can get a good hip toss and knock the wind out of you when I throw you on the ground, that's great. But here's how reality works. In Judo, if you watch Olympic Judo, it's a lot of struggle to get that fucking hip toss. No, because you both grabbing each other by the lapel, because y'all start off in the grab position. You don't start off like clenching arms and shit. You start off with lapel grabs. And I'm like, in real life, I'm not letting you get that fucking close to me. You know, it's just not going to happen. You know, because I learned Judo the way everyone else learns Judo. You get grabbed and you get hip tossed. And most of the time, the first time that you get hip tossed, it's a shock. Because you don't think that that shit can actually happen. You know, you don't think that somebody's going to grab you by the tuft of your shirt and throw your ass down. You don't see it coming. You won't see it coming. And if your Judo instructor is great, the only thing you're going to know is you were up and then you were down. And if they treat you nicely, you're going to land softly. If they teach you from the school of hard knocks, you're going to know that you don't want that shit to happen again because getting slammed on your back fucking hurts. Alright? So in Judo, there was a lot of tugging and pushing from the Judo that I was being taught. And then it was, the principle is simple for Judo. Don't resist. Use their force against them. So when they're pushing, you're pulling, you're turning, you're twisting, you're bending, they're coming over. Hip toss. Yeah, there's more to Judo than that, but those are the principles that I remember the most because getting hip tossed is not fucking fun. And it's the same thing with Aikido, with a certain couple of grabs here and there and arm bars and locks and pinches, you can really do some damage to people. Okay? But, again, in real life, fights don't work like they do in the dojo. They really don't. Now, when you're in like tournament spotting, point fighting, it's a whole different thing. Which I was explaining to this kid. No, a real fight, you got 3 to 5 minutes to decide what the fuck's gonna happen. And everybody has a plan until you're hit in the face. Because then everything is gone. You got combat stress. You got, did this happen? How did I recover? Am I recovered? Am I still in the fight? Am I dazed? Because you don't know what's going to happen until you get hit. Once you get hit, everything changes. Your battle plan that you had when you walked into that arena is gone. Because now you're in survival mode. And now, whatever comes natural is what you're going to do. And if it comes natural that you're going to get your ass whooped, well, you're going to get your ass whooped. It's just that simple. But you go in with a positive attitude thinking, I'm not going to lose this fight. You know, every sparring match that I've ever lost was because I thought I was going to lose, and I lost. I never really had that problem because I've only lost 2 sparring matches in my entire lifetime. But that's because I let other people get in my head, and instead of believing that I was the best, I failed. And in doing so, I learned two things from that shit. One, I am the best. And two, it'll never happen again. Which is why when most people spar with me, they don't rarely come back for a rematch. But the thing is, when you are trying to teach someone something that's going to benefit them, because I'm not going to teach this kid something he can't use. You can break an arm in more than just the way I showed, because you can break an arm from back here. If their body's just not built for it, you can break their arm and put them in a fucking simple arm bar. The crossbody chicken wing, Bob Backlund, you can break an arm that way. But this guy, army guy, like myself, like the neighbor, out of spite, pulled the guy out of our conversation. I never got to go ask the kid about what they talked about. Because I can pretty much tell what they talked about because they never came back. And I don't think that it's right for you to ever get on the internet and delegitimize somebody. I also don't think it's right for you to literally be in someone's face and delegitimize them either. Especially if you haven't gone a couple of rounds. And that's one of the things that ate my ass up for like the last month or some change. So if you've been watching here on YouTube, you've seen me go all out like this. I just did it on Instagram earlier today, but you've seen me. One thing about being blindfolded is that your hyper awareness doesn't always work. I have been trained since I was a kid to do this, but not by professional teachers, because they're going to recommend the same thing that I'm about to say right now. There will almost never be a time in your life, unless you're playing blind man's bluff, that you are going to go here, 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 and have to fight. There's a wall there. There's a dragon poster there. There's a camera right here. So I have awareness of my room. So when I couldn't get teachers to teach me how to negotiate blindfolded, I had to do it myself. So every now and again, you will catch me walking with my eyes closed because I'm learning my environment by counting my steps. I know that if I walk yay so many places at yay so much speed, every 13 steps, I need to open my eyes to make sure that I'm still walking on a straight path. Training in martial arts, whole lot different than walking blindfolded. I can take 2 steps back without hitting this thing behind me. 1, 2. And 2 steps by 1 step each. Now I can push this back. I should be able to take 3 steps forward without touching it when I back up. I will touch my bed, which is right there. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm right on the cusp of my bed. You understand how that works? I cannot see through here because my eyes are closed. Now watch. I'm going to take my 3 steps back now. 1, 2, 3. I haven't touched it. 4. Now I just hit the damn thing. Okay. So to my left, my dog tags. To my right, my washcloth, my towels. And right up here is the rack that they're sitting on. And there's something right here that feels like a jacket. But it should be my jacket because that's the only place my jacket was hanging the last time I saw it. Now, I know my room. Camera's still right here. I can't fit. There we go. Dragon picture's still right there. So I'm really in the middle of the dragon picture somewhere. This is the end. But right here where I first touched is in the middle. Alright? So there should be a bag or something right here. I don't know what that is, but there's something right there. I think it's picture frames. And then there's my bag of shoes. And behind me is this white thing, which I took 3 steps to get to. So knowing my room, knowing it with sight, now I know it blind. So You see how I took a step after I reached for the bed? I know where the stuff legitimately is in my room blindfolded. So that way I can find shit if I need it. Now, here's my clothes. If I'm right, this is a Saber Night Light shirt. I very well could be wrong. It should be black. There should be a triangle right here. If not, then there's a lightsaber right there. So, let's turn it around. Alright, so, I don't know what side's what. I'm going to lay it back down the way I found it, and I'm hoping like hell that the triangle with the lightsaber and people are right there, and not the lightsaber in the corner. And I was wrong. No, I was right, because the triangle and the lightsaber people, not just the lightsaber right there. Okay, so I was correct. The thing is, when you are blind, you will have to learn how to do shit instinctively, like real blind people do. I couldn't get arrested trying to find a teacher to teach me how to fight blind. So I practiced blind fighting by myself. And I got fairly good at it. You know, I used to have the kids jump me in the backyard so I can get good at it. And the problem with that was they caught on to my game. And the only way they caught on to my game was they stopped making noise. While they were making noise, I could swing wherever the noise was. And the trick to that was, if I heard something in front of me, I'd throw a punch and a kick backwards. So I'd throw a punch forward and a kick backwards. So it would look kind of odd, but it'd be like, boom. Alright? Something like that. My eyes are closed, I'm blindfolded. I would do the same thing in a star formation. So, right, left that way, left, right that way. And I would not make more than 2 or 3 steps from where I was standing. And I would count my steps. 1, left, right. Step back. 2, 1, right, right foot. No, and come right back to the same spot. And then I learned one thing real quick. When they get quiet, you're in trouble. And when they got quiet, I freaked out. And I got in my stance. And I just started throwing jabs. And anything that moved, I couldn't see it, I couldn't hear it, but they got quiet. And it's hard as fuck to listen for somebody breathing. Which is what I was taught by senseis in case I was ever blinded. Because they wouldn't teach me blindfolded, but they told me if I was ever blinded, listen for the breathing. You can't hear that shit. You're under combat stress. You can't hear that shit. You can't hear what they sound like. And if you listen carefully, you can hear someone in the shower right now. And if you haven't looked at me, my eyes are still closed. The blindfold's gone, but my eyes are still closed. So, I can hear my TV. I can hear the shower. I can see the light with my eyes closed. So I had to learn how to look for shadows through my eyelids. Once I figured that out, plus the light, I always turned my face toward the light. So when something did like this, I'd swing. Rather I'd hit something or not, I'd swing or I'd kick. Because the light, and you look at the light, and you can see this, which you can't see right now, but if you all close your eyes and look at the light, and do this, not just because it looks cool when you're John Cena, you know, but look directly at a light source, and do this. You will see through your skin, through your eyelids, that there is something moving. That's 2 hands. I know it's 2 hands. They're switching back and forth because I'm controlling them. But 9 times out of 10, if you're looking directly in the light, you can see those things move. If these lights went out, I'd be dead. The Daredevil theory does not always work. So, before you ever delegitimize somebody behind their back or to their face, you may want to try to fight them first. And out of spite, doing shit like that does not make you a grandiose person. Thank you guys for watching. I'm James Williams Jr. I'm only going to make one more video now.